Live from New York, it's Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
Hey everybody, this is Phil, Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern and also Phil. We're broadcasting live from the Adafruit headquarters in downtown Soho, New York City. Today is our last Wearable Electronics live show of 2013.
Yeah, cheers, good year. We started this in August. Yeah.
We've got a lot of nice things on today's show.
Yeah.
What are some of them?
On today's show, we're gonna give you a discount. The code is BANGLE, 10% off everything in the floor and wearable section until midnight tonight. Get on it. This is one of the last sales of the year. We got Wearable Wednesday. Becky's gonna show off a lot of stuff.
Cool stuff, new stuff from the blog and beyond.
That's right. We have Material Spotlight.
We're doing some magnets today, magnets.
It'll be a very attractive segment. Tools we love.
We're highlighting some scissors today, special slicey, we love them.
You got questions, Becky has answers.
If you have questions for us during today's show, you can ask them in the comments, and we will get to them during the future show, which will be in the future in 2014.
All that and more on Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. Okay.
I like that animation.
Yes.
That's new. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe and Noah did that.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yeah, everything's working out. Okay, so some housekeeping. This is the last show of 2013. Everybody, thank you so much for a fantastic first year. I mean, it wasn't a full year, but first year of doing Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. We're going to be back in January, of course.
First week in January. It's just that, like, Christmas is a Wednesday, and the New Year's Day is a Wednesday.
Yeah.
We'll be back the following Wednesday. We'll have a highlights post next week.
Yeah.
And then a brand new video on the first of the year, and then a live show after that.
Yeah. And let's pay some bills. With your support, we can keep doing this. Lights are on. BANGLE is the code, 10% off in the Adafruit store, floor and wearables
There's
stuff.
still some time to get your holiday stuff. If you need to order some gifts, wearables gifts, you can use code BANGLE to get 10% off all day today in the floor and wearables categories. Speaking of which, I don't know if we just want to, I'm just going to jump right in and not go in the show order at all.
Yeah, you want to jump around?
Just go to the gift guide.
I'm just going to jump around.
Yeah, just because it came up. If you're looking for the best wearables things to get for people for the holidays, Christmas is coming up, you can look at our wearables hardware gift guide we put up yesterday.
Yeah.
It goes with our video, but is also suggests a bunch of cool kits and packs that make excellent gifts and include everything you need to make a bunch of projects, like the Flora GPS starter pack and the sensor pack and stuff like that. Also some non-Adafruit wearables boards that are out there, and then going up today on Wearable Wednesday, in the wearables category is another one about wearables like materials and textiles and like odd things like conductive fabric and conductive Velcro. So keep an eye out for that. It's no longer safe to order with UPS ground shipping, I don't think, but the shipping...
we have everything on the site.
Shipping deadlines are listed in every gift guide, so that's handy, and just make sure you pick the right shipping to get it to you by Christmas, but you can still do that.
Do yourself a favor, folks. Just get overnight. I mean, like, at this point, no, seriously, because,
or get a gift certificate.
There could be weather. There's all sorts of things that can happen. Like, it's just, at this point, it's a couple extra bucks, but if you're stressed out and you're gonna be freaking over presents, like you'd be like, boy, I wish I would have spent the $2 extra or something.
Yeah.
So, get on it. Okay, let's kick this off. Wearable Wednesday.
We're in it. We're in Wearable Wednesday.
We're here inside of Wearable Wednesday right now.
It is Wednesday.
Okay.
On the blog look at this guy's beautiful LED embroidery on this tapestry. It's kind of looks like a combination between cross stitch and embroidery to make this cool LED display. You can see the rows that are further away have more conductive fabric to probably to even out the resistance. Some beautiful artwork going on there. So if you're interested in making something like that, you can also check out our cross stitch tutorial and LED sequin tutorial.
Okay.
Mix those two up, but it's a cool blog post. And then also another fun project on the site today is a customer project. It's a very festive Santa hat. So if you want to be the most festive Santa, you can use a piece of NeoPixel strip, and there's even a rotary encoder in the pom-pom on the end that changes the animation. I highly recommend going to check out that video.
Okay. Yeah.
New twist on an old classic.
Yeah, and you also have the other.
It's run by Gemma. Yeah.
All right, and then next up.
Speaking of fuzzy things with wearable electronics, and then this is Holly's jacket. She's an NYC Resistor member, and they had a class, a Flora and NeoPixels workshop and I'm sure they'll have another one. Just keep an eye on their site. And Holly put these pixels in her fuzzy jacket and made like a Larson scanner pattern. I think it looks pretty nice.
Yeah, this is cool. I like the combination of like fur and LEDs.
Fur and light. It says something. Certainly.
Yeah, it's a little Chewbacca Star Warsy.
Pew pew.
Yeah, and then I'm on the blog. I think.
Yeah, you're on the blog today.
Yeah,
You were
what
like, well, you came over to my desk and we're like, Becky, can you make this thing for me?
Yeah.
It's a light bar pin.
Yeah, we'll talk about how you made this later on in the show too.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just to reiterate, you had mentioned this, but the wearable guide is up. So.
Wearable gift guide hardware. Wearable gift guide textiles is going up later today. Keep an eye on the blog, and there's a huge number of posts every week. So if you're not subscribed to the blog, you can check out just the wearables posts. You can check out all the posts.
Yeah.
Lots of fun stuff.
Okay, and then we have our Wearable Wednesday video. What is
hey
this?
Phil,
Yeah.
what do you get when you put 4 NeoPixel rings together?
An Audi emblem, or maybe Olympics. I don't know. You
Close.
tell me.
A bracelet.
Oh,
Ooh.
I was not expecting that.
Says the man who made the file that runs the show.
Oh,
He knows.
I'm like
all
a
the fun
fruit fly now, an Adafruit fly. I only have memory. It's like Memento. I only remember from like
3
a long
minutes
time
ago,
ago.
a goldfish.
Who are you?
This week's wearable project.
Where am I?
This week's project is a bangle bracelet made with 4 NeoPixel rings. Please roll the video.
Okay.
Hey everybody, I'm Becky Stern. Today I'm going to show you how to make a bangle bracelet out of NeoPixel rings, perfect for your New Year's party or just a night out on the town. The 64 color changing LEDs are controlled by Gemma, Adafruit's tiny wearable electronics platform. To get started, line up your pixel rings face down on a gridded surface like this cutting mat. Glue on some jewelry findings to make it easier to link the rings together. Check out the link in the description for a complete list of parts and where to find them. The pixel rings are linked together with jump rings, and the small stranded wires we need to connect the circuit can route through them as well. To close a jump ring, use 2 pairs of pliers to twist the wire ends until they meet up. The power source is this tiny li-poly battery, to which we've soldered a small switch. Add a magnetic clasp to make it easy to take your bracelet on and off. We also added a little more E6000 craft glue to protect the solder joints in case one of the wires ever gets snagged. Grab the code for this waveform animation in the guide on the Adafruit Learning System. You can easily change the color, or even load up a completely different sketch, say to light up in reaction to changes in temperature. We can't wait to see your electronic jewelry and the weekly show and tell on Google+, and subscribe for more weekly wearables from Adafruit.
And we're back, and here's a couple close-up photos.
This is the magnetic clasp, and this is the way that the wires are routed through. So if you want to build your own, there's a step-by-step guide on the learning system, and then we have the thing on the overhead.
Let's go to the overhead.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it on. I turned the lights off so you can.
Oh, look how great that looks.
Yeah. So the code's really easy. Dano and I wrote it together, and neither of us are experts, so it's a pretty easy to understand animation, sine wave. And there's another one we offered in the guide that's a random flashing, sparkly kind of.
Yeah.
Then they're like both perfect for New Year's, I think. Even though it's not 2009 anymore, you can't make a pair of those glasses with the.
Yeah, that's the
I
only
know,
thing.
right?
But
But it looks really nice. It should be super classy for your fancy outfit. It's got the wires routed through the jump rings, which provides some strain relief and sort of keeps them in position behind so that they don't show. And then the magnetic clasp makes it really easy to put on. You just like put it together, and then bracelets for ladies are usually pretty hard to put on, so that's cool. And then
did you want to go back over? Yeah, go back
and
over.
then this animation loops around once it gets to the end, and there's another one that's continuous all the way around, and then the third one that we put is for the random flashing. So
that's cool. That's a fun project.
yeah, I'm gonna make another one even.
Yeah.
Because it was really fun to make, and
You can make a necklacey thing too. You can do all sorts of
yeah,
stuff.
you can put them. Actually, that would make a really nice. Even just this circuit the way it is, you could just put a chain on it and wear it like a necklace.
Yeah.
I could even see making a few more and making like a little crown, or this could even be. Ooh, look what a cute headband! You know how much I like headbands.
Yeah.
Yeah, all kinds of jewelry with the
unending.
NeoPixel rings. And then there's the bigger NeoPixel rings that could be used for, like, you could probably mix them together. And then we're going to have some smaller NeoPixel rings, too, soon.
Okay. All right, next up.
So jewelry, they go perfectly with the earrings, you know.
If you want to buy and make these things, you can use the code BANGLE.
Get 10% off and everything in the Flora and wearables categories
Yeah.
through 11:59 p.m. tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Next, material spotlight. What you got, Bex?
I got a magnetic pin back. Yeah. I
Okay.
couldn't decide if it was a material or a component. I decided because you don't run electricity through it that it is a material.
Yeah.
It's a 2-piece product. It's a metal bar with a sticky thing on it and another bar with 2 magnets in it. It works way better than a pin back that would stick through your clothes because it's got these strong neodymium magnets. The metal bar sticks onto anything. It's the perfect size for Flora, and you can turn any of your circuits into a pin really easily.
Yeah.
So I have some to show on the overhead.
The overhead.
I'll turn the overhead light on now.
Okay.
Now that there's no lights. So you can see it sticks, the bar fits on Flora right between these pads here, but also on the light bar or anything else, you can just stick it on the back. Here's the brooch from the heart rate brooch with the heart in here.
Yeah.
And then this one is just a piezo pin. So you can do, I don't know. That's the DIY that is on the blog today. Like a little mini tutorial is stick the magnetic pin back on the back of the light bar. You can go back to the photo of it.
Yeah, I have that.
And put it on your jacket, and then you have a nice.
Got this.
And then there's a picture of the final thing.
Yeah. And then there's this. And then you also did another project here where you have a the lipo. This was, I guess, the close-up photos of that.
Yeah, I think it's the close-up photo of the brooch.
And then,
so it fits the little lipo fits. All right, yep, and there's the light bar.
Yeah, sorry.
Like Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Brooch,
Okay.
which you could power with a lipo, or in your case it was the 3 AAA battery holder. But it makes anything into a thing you can stick on not just your torso, but also like your backpack.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a fun way.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very handy, and I think that's good for people because they're always wondering like how to attach things onto their person.
Right, and the pin, like a pin back, we have pin backs too, like the ones that are on the solar badge. That like pins through your shirt, and that's okay, but this circuit's a little bit heavy. And so the 2 magnets give it, like a lot of surface area and fabric to pinch, so it really holds really securely and doesn't like sag or damage your clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So put those, make all of the pins. Show us your pins.
Our new segment that we have now is Tools We Love.
We started this last week.
Yeah. So what is this tool that you love, Becky?
These are the super scissors. I love scissors in general.
Super scissors.
Maybe sometime we'll do a super scissor roundup, I don't know. The product.
Will it cut?
Will it cut, right. This week, the tool we love is the super scissors. And I know they say engineer, but you can use them on other things besides Cat 5 cable.
Yeah. You can use it for all sorts of stuff.
Including cutting the ribbon. I thought I'd do some live cutting.
Okay.
When I go to get my scissors sharpened at this like kind of old school place on 25th Street, they like unfold the scissors that they sharpened for you, and they let you try them before you before you leave with your sharpened scissors. They like unwrap them and they give you some fabric, some heavy duty canvas, and they say, "You want to make sure that they're good?" And,
oh, okay.
And you do and so I'm finding myself like at the scissor place, like going like this, cutting the fabric, and being like, "Oh yeah, yeah, great, much better."
Much better now.
But yeah, they're really sharp. They have like a little micro serrated edge that can cut through a lot of things. I cut through a lot of this stainless steel stuff, right? Stainless steel fabric, silver fabric, and it dulls your scissors really quickly. And I have certain scissors that are only allowed for regular fabric, and they have, they say in big letters, fabric only on them. So it's really nice to have a really heavy duty pair of scissors that when I say hands off my chrome, I can say grab these instead.
Yeah.
Because these will cut through anything, including EL wire, which is a big thing. You shouldn't cut EL wire with regular scissors.
Yeah, and one of the things for folks who know Adafruit quality, so we have lots of choices. These are made in Japan, and they're pretty much the best ones. There's cheap alternatives out there. They're not very good, and that's why we don't stock them. So these are the best ones out there.
Class A.
Yeah, and they're 10% off right now.
Well, you know what is interesting? People always say like, oh, like, they want to save money and they want to have lots of things to be able to use, but like things that are sharp, I have opinions about things that are sharp. The things that are sharp in your life should be really high quality.
Yeah.
Because if you're using like a dull knife or a dull pair of scissors and you're having to put extra effort into something to cut it, you're more likely to injure yourself or cut yourself. So if you have sharp tools that work like they're supposed to, you limit the resistance of the blade against the thing and minimize the possibility of something like going all the way through and into your femoral artery or cut your finger off or whatever. So I have had very few injuries with blades and scissors in my life, and I like to keep it that way, and I like to think it's because safety first means have sharp, good quality tools.
Yeah, I agree. Good advice from Becky Stern. Okay, it's question and answer time.
Wow, already?
Yeah, we got, we're zipping through the show this week. This is great. Questions and answers. You got questions, Becky has answers.
If you have questions for us, post them up in the comments or on Google+, and we'll get to them in a future show, and it makes you eligible for a giveaway.
First one, hi guys, questions for Becky. What do you think is the most convenient and safe way to fully waterproof wearables like the Flora?
Convenient and safe are two very different things. I always like to say it's like that saying about like making products or making things in general. You can have things high quality, fast. You have 2 out of 3: high quality, fast, or cheap. You can't have all three.
Pick 2.
Right. Yeah. So I would say you can have convenient way to waterproof something, and you can have a safe way to waterproof something, and you can have a small way to waterproof something, and you can't have all 3 together.
What are the ways?
There's so many ways.
This is the weekly wearable washable question.
He didn't ask how can I wash to make sure. I think he's talking about wanting to put stuff in a jacket that he's going to wear out in the rain, not washing things when they're off. That's the question we always get. But how to make things work when you're in the rain is harder. So, I mean, first of all, put it in a waterproof jacket. Don't use conductive thread, use wire. Insulate all of your wire connections with a silicone adhesive or caulk. You can use also clear nail polish or my favorite E6000 craft glue. Use waterproof boxes like you see in the Brake Light Backpack project. There's a waterproof case. We have a couple waterproof enclosures in the shop. You can use our waterproof or weather-resistant chainable pixels. If you want LEDs, like I made a sign out of those one time on plywood. That's actually what they're meant for. And then the problem is like the Flora itself, it needs to go in a box to be waterproof, or the regular conformal coating. If you don't want to program it ever again, you can use regular electronics conformal coating. Yeah,
we also have some enclosures on Thingiverse that Noah and Pedro worked on, and I think you can put it inside that and then seal that up. You got choices.
Yeah.
You got choices. Okay.
But convenient and safe are 2 very different things in the world of wearable electronics, I think.
Yeah. Well, just to stick on the subject, one of the things I like doing is looking at what companies like Nike or Fitbit and everyone does. And there's a lot of injection molding and putting like silicone around it. And this is a huge amount of tooling and a huge amount of effort.
Of tweaking just to get those parts to match up just right. And then there's like a rubber gasket. Yeah. And our waterproof enclosures in the shop have a rubber gasket.
Yeah.
You can also use that Never Wet stuff. It makes your...
we did that.
You can watch our video about putting spraying these with the hydrophobic coating. Like waterproof and hydrophobic are 2 different things. Like waterproof, if I were to coat my whole circuit in clear nail polish and put it in water, it would still work, but it wouldn't repel the water the same way this nanotech stuff does, and it would eventually break down. But this stuff eventually breaks down in the sun.
Yeah.
So
eventually everything kind of breaks down. The universe is filled with entropy. Nothing we can do about that. All right, next up.
Plastic.
It's true. This is from Martin. New question. What would be the best way of attaching a LiPo permanently to a project not having to rip off the JST connector for charging? Or is this just a bad idea? I'm not thinking of attaching it to a garment or flame casing. I think goggles, pendants, etc. It would be nice just having a connector to plug the power to.
Well, nice to have a connector to plug the power to is what the JST connector on the Flora and the Gemma is, and all of our batteries is there for. So you can just plug it and unplug it. However, if it's too big for you, you can clip the connector off of the board, solder the wires of your LiPoly battery on it, and then unsolder it every time you want to charge it. The thing is we don't have microcontroller boards with onboard charging, so we think it's not a great idea. So we want you to unplug the battery and put it somewhere else for charging, because when a battery is charging, it can get warm. I don't know. You want an easy connector? We have provided you one. I'm sorry if it's too big.
Yeah, we have some. This is the part of the show where I can talk a little bit of that stuff. So we're working on some really cool all-in-one boards. Like MP3 with like an Arduino compatible on it. The CC3000 chip Wi-Fi with an Arduino compatible on it. A Bluefruit Shield thing with an Arduino compatible on it. And with those, we're probably going to have onboard charging, and it'll be battery powered.
Right.
So that'll be kind of interesting.
So for those, you'll be able to plug in your battery and then just like plug in power to charge it, unplug power to charge it. You won't have to unplug the battery.
Early 2014.
Right, but for wearable stuff, we're never going to put an onboard LiPoly charger on a. I mean, I can't say never say never. But
it's not a good idea, and that's design decisions that we make as a company, and that's the difference between us and other companies. We think it's better and safer to do it this way.
Right. So anything you wear, I think, shouldn't have a LiPoly battery charger on it. But I don't know, pendants.
Yeah.
I guess you don't wear it while you're charging it.
Next up. This is from Mike. Hi, Becky. I'm thinking about building a video display to clip onto my prescription glasses, sort of a DIY Google Glass. The video source is analog, so low resolution is fine. The size should be somewhere between 1 inch and 1.5 diagonal. Can you recommend a display device?
I would browse the TFT displays category, and we also have a pair of video goggles.
Yeah, you could pull them out of that.
Yeah, you could take like one out and leave one in.
Yeah. Tony, one of our developers here, is working on a camcorder, like Google Glass thing, and he pulled one from an old camcorder. That's something that you might want to try too. The junk store is your friend.
They're kind of long.
It's gigantic.
The CRT, it's a tiny CRT, right? Yeah, and they're really cute camcorder eyepieces, but they're long because they have the full vacuum.
Yeah, it's a cool project.
Yeah, but like a little TFT or the video goggles.
Okay. And the last question, this is from Tia. Not quite wearable, but I stumbled upon your old Stern Lab site, and I was wondering about adding electronics to embroidery, specifically cross stitch. I want to add a couple of small LEDs and maybe some sound effects activated either by a switch or some touch panels. What would be the best way to do it?
So do you remember this that I showed you earlier? I made a special effort to put this in the show today as an animated GIF so that to answer your question. This is cross stitch right here. So you can use regular floss to sort of tack down conductive thread, or you can just like stitch with the conductive thread. And I have some videos on the Adafruit YouTube channel that you can watch. The cross stitch one, although you already know how to cross stitch clearly, and then the LED sequins one shows you how to put solder little beads onto surface mount LEDs and sew them into cross stitch specifically. There's nothing old about my Stern Lab site. It's just my personal site where I put all my stuff, and it has a lot of my old artwork on it, but it also has new things.
Dusty old site.
It's not dusty. I updated it last week. But you'll see there also that I've done some freeform embroidery with conductive thread. You just use the conductive thread like you would use regular embroidery floss and follow some simple circuit diagrams. But on the LED sequins video, there's a specific if you need to be shown how the circuit specifically should go.
Yeah. So that's the questions for the week. One thing, if you're on Twitter, I posted links during the show, and this week I posted up a link to a sphere, it's called. It's a little panorama, and it uses this little device that I put down over here. But anyways, you put an iPhone on it, and it takes pictures, and you can see what it's like sitting right here. So
that's from earlier today.
Yeah,
you can see my sweet new shirt from Micah with a 555 timer.
Yeah.
I had one more idea for Ladyface. I don't remember her name. She asked...
Lady Ada, Ladyface?
No, I call people Ladyface. I don't know. She wanted to know about triggering sounds and stuff. You could put a flora on the back or on the front if you want. I like the way the flora looks.
Yeah.
And then you can use capacitive touch sensing. We have a tutorial for that in the Adafruit Learning System. And then to trigger, if you wanted to put little pads of conductive thread or fabric that people touch, you use CapSense to trigger that event, and then you could use like a piezo buzzer or something.
Oh,
and the flora could do all of that stuff for you, and then output to the LEDs too.
Okay. Let's give away some stuff.
Okay, yeah. So everybody who asks a question gets entered in the giveaway, and there's only like 4 or 5 questions per show. So if you ask a good question, and I mean there aren't any bad questions, but if you ask a question that we answer on the show, you are eligible for the giveaway. And today the giveaway is these super scissors. I'm so tempted to just put
Don't do it.
You will get this pair that I have totally not licked.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
That costs extra.
Okay, so by the power of random, I have chosen Martin.
Congratulations, Martin.
You have won. So thank you so much for your lovely questions, multiple questions. And you can email support@adafruit.com to claim your prize, and I'll go send you a message on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching another lovely episode of Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern and Phil. It's been a lovely 2013, and we hope that you guys all have really safe holiday season and New Year's, and that you make some jewelry to wear to your party.
Yeah. And if you want to save some bucks, don't forget, the code is about to expire later today. So, Bengal.
10% off anything in the wearables and flora category.
Yeah. I mean, I'll let you guys in on a secret. If you're watching right now, it's everything in the store in addition to flora and wearables. You can do it.
The code is a lie.
The code is, no, it's like a treat. The code is
Code
like a gift.
is a treat.
Yeah, it's a gift.
The code is a cake. I'm trying to make
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a Portal joke here.
Yeah.
You're not helping. I'm shining it against my face so that you can see it light up pink.
Yeah, that's
It's
great.
hard to see. But yeah, thanks so much for watching and making
Okay.
our 2013 great. We hope yours has been great too, and we'll see you next year.
Bye, everybody.